Hello everyone and welcome to the 9th weekly news update for Jurassic World Evolution 2. We got some really cool information about the game this week, but also some disappointing things. I'm gonna get right into it, not even gonna do an intro this time, just straight up the news. This week we got the Species Field guide for the Pteranodon. It didn't reveal too much new information since most of the cool stuff, like the flying reptiles attacking guests and dinosaurs and making territories in the park if they escape, was already revealed with the Dimorphodon Species Field guide the week before. The Pteranodon is a social animal and can get somewhat aggressive if they don't have other members of their species nearby. They need a fair amount of space for them to spread their wings, preferring a mixture of open space and wetlands environments. If they escape, we need to make sure the shelters are open for our guests to seek safety. This implies that the shelter mechanic will work basically the same as the current game. When a threat occurs, we have to open the shelters as opposed to that being an automatic response. In the Species Field guide, we saw the Pteranodon with different skin colors, so the same skin system that applies to the other creatures applies to the Pteranodon as well. We saw them eat from the fish feeder. It is confirmed on the forum replies that this is just a standard fish feeder that you can place outside of the aviaries as well, so Pteranodon can eat from feeders outside the aviary, in case they escape or if you want them to roam freely. We also saw a bit of a janky turn animation, but again in a reply, Jens Erik clarified that this is just the alpha version of the game, and the animations are still subject to change as they further develop and polish the game. The feature focus article of the week was about improvements to the guided tours. The tours in question being the Gyrosphere tour that was in the base game of Jurassic World Evolution 1 and the Jurassic tour trucks, which were DLC content for the first game, namely being introduced with Claire's Sanctuary. While it's nice that the latter is now part of the base game for the sequel, there is no mention of the Ford Explorer tour from the classic Jurassic Park era. Hopefully that does make an appearance in Chaos Theory mode and will thus also be unlockable for Sandbox mode. Someone asked on Twitter about the Riverboat tour, the Cretaceous cruise, that we saw a glimpse of in the first Jurassic World movie and which also makes an appearance, albeit in a different form, in the original novel. Unfortunately, the answer to this was Frontier's classic "we don't have anything to announce" about other kinds of tours beyond the ones we discuss in this feature focus, making the odds of the Cretaceous cruise being part of the base game exceedingly slim, which is a big missed opportunity. And it's just an interesting omission, really. The tour trucks don't get that much more screen time in the movie than the river cruise, so it's odd that one made it into both games and the other is, as of yet, completely shunned, despite of the fact that it is very popular and fans keep asking for it. Hopefully it will at least get added at some point down the line so we can recreate this moment. Frontier did state on Twitter that the tour will once more be manually drivable by us, which is obvious but nice to have confirmed and worth mentioning. And honestly, they did make quite a few improvements to the tours. First, let's discuss what's similar to the first game. Tours can go through multiple enclosures, they can go through enclosures with carnivorous dinosaurs, the vehicles can get destroyed, which means the tour needs to be rebooted by a ranger team, and there is once more a voiceover with dinosaur information. This voice is the same voice as we heard in the park management guide, which I'm told by commenters on the previous video is supposed to be an imitation of Richard Kiley, the actor who voiced the tours for the original movie, since Hammond, of course, spared no expense. But what is new about the tours? What are the improvements? Tours can cross over paths. When you lay track over a fence, a gate automatically appears, but also vice versa. If you place fence over a track, there will now also be a gate. In the first game, you always had to place fencing first and then have the track go through. That is no longer the case. This small improvement makes it much easier to make quick changes to the layout of your enclosures. We can now also chain different stations together in a single loop. Keep in mind that your dinosaur visibility is top-notch across the board, so each part of your tour is as exciting as the last. By linking multiple stations together, you can create a hop-on, hop-off kind of tour. Along the tour, you can place photo points, where a picture is taken of your guests. This picture is not something we can view, but we will be able to see the flash go off. Presumably, this will boost the rating of the tour or have some other function, but that is not mentioned. Finally, and possibly most excitedly, we can also enter the aviaries with our tours. Approaching the wall of the aviary with the tour track creates a gate, just like what happens with the regular fencing, and we can then take the tour into the aviary. The access point is completely up to us to determine, and we can even have multiple tours go in a single aviary. This will make building large tours a lot of fun. We can literally go through our entire park now. Hopefully, tour tracks will also be able to cross over each other, not just path. That was not said in the feature focus article, but it would be a very important quality of life feature for creating multiple large tours within a park. The last thing I want to address is a tweet. Someone asked about the sex of the dinosaurs. Are they all female or are they a mix of male and female? Frontier had previously stated that all dinosaurs in Jurassic World Evolution 2 are female, which led to some people concluding that the Indoraptor would not be in the sequel since it's male. But I've personally always thought that even though the specific Indoraptor in the movie was male, doesn't mean that all of the hundreds if not thousands of Indoraptors that we bred in our parks were necessarily male. I figured those would be females, as is the case for all other dinosaurs in the game. But Frontier does now confirm that even the Indoraptors in the game are all male, just like in the movie. You could apply some logic here and say that the Indoraptor won't be in the sequel since it is male, and they have previously stated that all dinosaurs in Jurassic World Evolution 2 are female, but I think that statement was just made to hammer home the point that there will be no breeding and doesn't necessarily exclude the Indoraptor as the singular exception. Besides, it would seem impossible to do Chaos Theory mode for Jurassic World and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom without the two hybrids, so they are probably in the game. However, this tweet neither confirms nor denies that. I got a lot of messages on Discord saying that the Indoraptor and all hybrids by extension are confirmed by this tweet, but note that the question is mostly about the first game, with the sequel only mentioned in parentheses, and the answer also just leaves a pretty big loophole. So there's no evidence yet to support it either way. However, like I said, I do suspect the two movie hybrids are in the game because they played such a huge role in their respective movies, and they really can't do Chaos Theory mode without them, in my opinion. Let me know in a comment down below what you think. Are the hybrids in the sequel? Do you want them to be in the sequel? Comment that down below. That is all for now. If you enjoy getting the news in this format for your news consumption convenience, please leave a like on the video and subscribe for next week. Sadly, there will not be a live stream today as I am once more on duty nursing a sick bunny. I'm distracted, I'm tired, I'm just not really happy or inspired right now, so that's not a good jumping off point for a fun stream. I hope you guys understand, and I hope to be back soon with the live streams. Thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing, and until next time, enjoy the anticipation.